Hello, welcome. It's a beautiful Friday here from the city of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. That's where we are reaching you from. And this is the News Super Review. My name is Williams Abule, and I'm so excited to have you join me here on the News Super Review. On this program, we bring you newspaper headlines across newspapers around Nigeria, and we get to talk about these headlines here on the program. Of course, you can also be a part of that conversation by dropping your comments, your reaction on the comment section. I love to tell you that so you know that we are doing this together alongside my partner here, Victor Sioku. You're welcome.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I am very, very well today. I feel really good today. I don't know why, but I feel good. Better than the other day, but I feel good. And then, of course, it's a weekend too.
Oh man, a whole lot of
Friday.
a whole lot of things to follow up.
Yeah.
The Roland Garros is on,
Yeah.
so we want to see the new king of clay.
Yeah.
Will it still be Nadal or will it be Djokovic? Okay.
So very, very packed weekend for sports lovers. Make sure you follow.
And we have the Champions League.
The Champions
Let's not
League.
miss that out.
That is the one a lot of people are going to really be looking out for. But then lawn tennis is my favorite game, so of course I'm going to be looking out for that one. Let's see how it plays out. All right, for today we are going to go into the newspaper headlines, and we'll begin with this day newspaper for today, the 9th day in the month of June 2023. And on this day here we have as headline, Sule. Buhari spent over $19 billion on fixing refineries in 8 years without results. Doubts Nigeria's petrol consumption data. RMAFC, NNPCL, 8.43 trillion subsidy claims still unreconciled. Backs removal. Right, get details of all of that story on page 5 of this day newspaper. We move downwards on the headlines there. It says telecom sector contributed 2.508 trillion naira to GDP in first quarter of 2023. You see that on page 6 of this day newspaper. The main headline here says Tinubu meets senators, members-elect, charges them to work together, choose own leaders, urges them to put nation's interest above other considerations. PDP moves to back Yari's faction to create upset, says opposition parties will maximize their numbers. Abiodun, governors across parties have accepted APC's candidates. All right, very interesting, happening in the National Assembly. But then I'll take this last headline here, still on this day, says Obi seeks permission to question INEC over ICT personnel used. You find that on page 44 of this day newspaper. All right, Victor. The moment I read this main headline as regards Tinubu meeting the senators and members-elect, I just really wanted to jump back to that story, especially the part where I read PDP moves to back Yari's faction to create upset, says opposition parties will maximize their numbers. Very interesting, happening in the National Assembly. What's your take on that story?
Very, very interesting. Okay, Yari is beginning to look like the favorite one from the opposition side. Okay, and mind you, we still have somebody like Ojus Okalo and Akpabio, but it's looking very slim right now for Ojus Okalo. Sure. And come to think of it, Southeasterners might not just be happy about that. Why some will be like, oh, come on, Ojus Okalo is a saboteur, let him just go.
And it's politics. Who plays it better wins.
Yes, but coming from the religious side of things, the Christians, I'm sure, will not be happy. Because what this will just turn out to be is that we'll have a president who is a Muslim, a vice president who is a Muslim, a chief of staff, that one has come in right now, a chief of staff in the name of Femi Gbajabiamila, who is a Muslim. We come to play his role there. Then you now have the Senate president.
Also a Muslim.
Also a Muslim. Then you will also now have the Speaker of the House of Assembly, also a Muslim, where you have Idris Wase, who is more like the first runner-up, okay, in the look of things. Then you have Tajuddin Abbas. who is the favorite one
Yeah.
from the block of the APC. But a whole lot of things is happening right now that if you look, if you look left, you look right, the Northern Forum have come out to say, see, that it's no big deal to have a Muslim as a speaker and a senator. They also came out to say it is not also a big deal for them to have a Northwestern to become the speaker and also to become the Senate president. They also mentioned the fact that for the president to pick Femi Gbajabiamila, who is also from Lagos State, does not mean. So what are they saying? That we should not be looking towards a religious line or looking towards tribal lines, that we just need the right leaders. And left for them, they feel that Tajuddin Abbas and Yari are the best candidates. So a whole lot of politicking going on right now, and we just don't know how this will end. But let's keep an eye on Tuesday. Tuesday is very close. And something also happened, that the president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, did not speak with his mouth that he is supporting Akpabio. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Because we were waiting for, in a meeting like this, for him to say, okay, please, let's rally around and support the candidate of Akpabio. It's just looking dicey right now. Let's see, but you know that the president will always want to follow the path that will favor him at the end of the day, because he really needs the support of the both House of Chamber for him to make a mark in this next 4 years.
And I'm sure his interest for those, for the both houses, that of the Senate and the members of Assembly, is of very keen interest to the presidency. And we don't know all the workings going on behind the scene, but from our speculations, from the way it looks like, he may not really fall on the laps of Akpabio, neither will it fall on Kalu's side. So that's now the concern for most Nigerians. But then, I personally am of the opinion of who is more competent to do the job. They all have the experience, especially that of Kalu. Kalu has a lot of experience in the House and will be able to bring that to the fore. But then, he also needs some kind of support. And if he's not getting it at this time, well, things might not really go his way.
But Mr. Bule, one thing I do not want is a repetition of what happened in the Ninth Assembly. Rubber-stamped leadership. We don't want that, because it shouldn't be. I don't see Orji Sokalo playing in the interest of Nigerians. I'm sorry. Okay, I see him as somebody that will be just behind the president. Okay, I just see it that way from his antecedent. Maybe I don't have time to just say all that, but I don't see him as somebody that will oppose some things, because at the end of the day, democracy should be something. It shouldn't just be a one-way thing. You look at issues, look at them critically, not just because my leader has said this, so we have to follow our leader. It shouldn't be that way. So I don't see him in that aspect. And another thing, the Southeast bringing their votes in might just also not count for him, because during the last election, the Southeast did not favor the APC, but the Northwest, whom the people are now talking that, see, we got you the highest block of votes, you need to give us this position. So it might not just favor him with respect to that.
Very true, interesting. The votings have begun, I believe so. And then we're waiting for the announcement next week. Is it Monday?
Yeah,
so?
You call it the internal voting.
Yes,
they are just doing their internal thing. But by Tuesday, the real thing will happen. But there's one more thing. Will it be secret ballot or will it be open? If it's secret ballot, they might just go against the will of the party. Okay? I'm coming. But if it is open ballot, they should go for Tinubu, knowing that, their names will be taken. And they'll say, you supported him, but you did not support me. But one more thing. For the fact that the PDP are clinging on Yari, I think that might just work for Yari. Reason, because there is no how the PDP and hopefully the LP will come for you and you don't give them their own slots. So at the end of the day, they might just be compensated.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? At the end of the day, they might even get the deputy speakership or deputy senate. Who knows? At the end of the day.
Very interesting, and I love the fact that this is playing out. So much of politicking happening again, so that the government of Tinubu and the 10th Assembly can fully get into doing their job. Right, that's where we're going to draw the curtains for that headline. But let's go to our next paper for today, and that will be Vanguard. Vanguard for today, the 9th of June 2023. We have as headline here: PDP's G5 governors meet with Tinubu. We stand for justice, fairness, equity, says Makinde. Page 4 is where you find details of that story. Victor, these men are out again. Me, I don't understand though. We have 3 of them no longer in position of power, but they are still roaming around, still making the news. What are they really? And they are PDP.
Are you saying 3 of them? Are they 3 or 4?
That have left. Oh, 4 of them.
4 of them are not in power.
So what are they looking for? And now they're all over government. Every video you see of the presidential villa, you see them there. And
somebody said from G5 to G stage.
No. I mean, I don't understand what's going on. So they were fighting for equity in PDP. So what is their own business now with the new government? Running around Tinubu, romancing them. To what end?
And one more thing. It is so shameful of the PDP that these men, you are seeing them, daylight, they are against your party.
Dragging the party in the
and
board.
You don't want to sack them. And you later you come as a clean party that people should respect your constitution, people should respect your rules. Come on.
It's a troubling sight, and but well, it's up to the PDP. And of course, maybe 1 or 2 of them might even get ministerial appointment. I won't be surprised. In an APC government, you find PDP getting appointments in.
And who will that be? Mr. Abule. Will he be the Benue State governor? For me, he did not perform well.
He's not very pushy. But we have our Igwe Yesom Wike here.
What do you think? Well, he likes power now. He likes power. Maybe they might give him minister of youth and youth and sports.
That would be really strange.
Or will they give it to Abia State governor?
Based on what? Competence. Anyway, that's the story for the G5 governors. They've been on the news for days now. We saw the pictures. They had a meeting with the president yesterday, and people are talking. We too were wondering what's going on with the G5 governor as regards their romance with the present day administration of the APC and that of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. All right, let's carry on with other headlines still on the Vanguard here. We see here, presidential poll, Obi produces software engineer as witness. The fine story on page 27 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then 5G, Nigeria must prioritize consumers' privacy, ethics of data usage. NCC speaking there, and find details is on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. We'll move on to the main headline here. It says, oil revenue crash pushes federal government's deficit to 513 billion naira in February. I'll take that again. It says oil revenue crash pushes federal government's deficit to 513 billion naira in February. It is 16% below budget benchmark, CBN. Non-oil revenue declines too. Revenue account, federal account revenue drops 32%. Details of all of that is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. We also see here, presidential poll, Tinubu, APC oppose INEC's ad hoc staff as witnesses. Let me take that again. Presidential poll, Tinubu, APC oppose INEC's ad hoc staff as witnesses. You find story on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Also, federal government puts payments to MDAs on hold. That is on page 9. We also see here, Democracy Day. Government declares June 12 public holiday. And that's on page 4 of the Vanguard. And then this very, very interesting headline here. It says, Nasarawa Assembly factional speaker. Have you heard that kind of thing before? They have a factional speaker. Now, we have factional for every other thing, like party leaders and all of that. Factional part of the parties, but now we have speakers of State Assembly as factional leaders. So we see here Nasarawa Assembly factional speaker accuses CP, that's the Commissioner of Police, of fueling crisis. And that story is on page 9 of Vanguard newspaper. And lastly, let me take this one. It says, Northern Forum seeks arrest, probe of ex-aviation minister, Sirika. Yes, let me stop there for the headlines here on the Vanguard. Well, Victor, before we go to the Nasarawa State House of Assembly, this story of Northern Forum seeks arrest, probe of ex-aviation minister, Sirika. It's a very good call. But we don't need the federal government to be, prompted to do this. With that shameless showdown, I mean, by now we should have been questioned by the DSS, by the EFCC. But that's how Nigeria has been. That is always it's a strange thing where people do things in impunity and feel like, look, I can get away with this. I'm not the first one to do it. I won't be the last. And it's so wrong. It's so wrong. But let's leave that story. You wanted to add?
Yes. Something? What do I want to add? Because there's a big issue with our institution. Okay, you are not supposed to by now. He has not been called up.
At least for questioning. I mean, even the Ethiopian Air. At least let's have a representative put out a statement or say something as to what happened. Okay, we saw the MD of the Nigerian Air saying what he was saying so boldly. As though nothing has gone wrong. Yeah. And he's wondering why Nigerians are feeling so perplexed. Like, what's going on? Why are you people feeling like something went wrong? I mean, we chartered the air. We repainted it to Nigerian Air just to woo investors. I mean, who does that? Who comes out with such effrontery to say that in a government, in a country as huge as Nigeria? And right now, Hadi Sirika is still, out there somewhere. And we have not seen it in public eye that he has been questioned. I mean, it's just...
And the national money was spent. Not your personal money.
Plenty of it. Plenty of money in billions. I mean, it's just unfair. So unfair to taxpayers.
Well, another thing I wanted to say is that if you go and check the background, you might also find out that he sponsored the APC.
Oh.
It might just be he sponsored the APC during the election. So they might just say, "Oh yeah, let's just wait."
Let's play around the matter.
This is Nigeria. I'm sorry. One might say I'm just making this up, but it is highly possible. If it is possible that in a country like this, that they can do such a shameful act publicly, if not for the fact that some journalists, went under to check the details of the airplane to find out that the airplane has gone back. In fact, they are even saying that the airplane there are reports saying that even the airplane left Nigeria with passengers under Ethiopian Airlines just so that they don't lose the whole money, so that it does not go empty.
It's disturbing. It's disturbing. And this is days after this drama. Yeah. And these people responsible, these people at the end of affair in that, aviation sector have not been questioned. Here we are. We only saw the MD giving that very cock and bull explanation. But here we are. Hadi Sirika, Northern Forum had to be calling for him to be probed. What?
Nigeria Air that was supposed to have started flying. We are not even talking about that. Because they said that from that second or third or fifth or 100th launching, that from there it will start flying. In fact, they made mention that it will start flying before May the 29th. That it will start flying. What we are not even talking about that now. What we are talking about, what happened? Why did you guys play this game to deceive Nigerians? We are not even talking about whether it is now flying or not. That one is not.
Obviously, government should not be involved in business. Truly, they shouldn't be involved in doing business. They should leave all these things to private sectors and let people, run the Nigerian Air or the private sector partnership, but not them trying to do it. I mean, look at the mess. Look at the mess. But then let's move on, or let's leave that story and move on to Nasarawa State House of Assembly. That is having a lot of drama going on right now. They have 2 elected speakers, and it is really very funny how, now we see factional speaker is accusing the Commissioner of Police of fueling the crisis. How is that really possible? Police is now getting involved in the politics of the state. Is that what you think is going on?
Okay, how did it happen? So a day before the election. That is to choose their principal officers. You know, mainly the eyes are on the board, the speaker. So, but just a day to the event. The factional, should I start from factional? Okay, okay. They had two groups: one supporting the governor and a group supporting a new speaker. Mind you, the former speaker, being supported by the governor, wants to return, but a separate group were against him. So what then happened? Out of 24 members of the assembly, 11 was for the returning speaker, while 13 chose for new leadership. So what happened? Early hours of the morning before the event was supposed to happen by 10 a.m. in the morning. But do you know that by 4 a.m. there was a report that by 4 a.m. that this factional, I have to call them factional, the 13 out of the 24, which which are the majority, came very early around 4 a.m. so that they will be on ground, so that the 11 will not come in and have an election without them. So they were at the gate. And what then happened? It was also reported that the 11 came after 4 a.m. quite early, earlier than the 10 a.m., so that they will have their elections. So by the gates, the police just blocked everybody. No entrance. But what then happened? They split their ways and had different elections.
And they had the winners.
That's
how the factions came about. Two leaders.
So right now they are battling with two leaders.
Oh my God. And you know, this accusation of the police getting involved is what I'm thinking. What role do you think the police must have played?
You know, Sule, that's the governor of Nasarawa State. He will always, he is the chief security officer. So the CP will always, you know, now Nigeria just has to happen. Unfortunately, that's what happened in our society. And it won't
be the first time we've seen police meddle in the affairs of politicians and, you know, political, stuff like this ones, and I'm not surprised. But then they should take their hands off this politics, and these are party affairs that they can be resolved, you know, sooner or later. Police is mainly supposed to be securing life and property, so keep your hands off the politics that is being played out there. All right, let's move away from that story. We're going to take our last paper for the day, but of course, like you know it, we're going to go on a short break. Once we come back, please do well to join us as we take on the last paper. Don't forget to stay connected to us on our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and of course on Twitter. Connect with us on all of these platforms. You can see the handles right below the screen. We'll see you once we come back.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
All right, welcome back from that short break, and we want to thank you so much for staying here on the program, for watching, and of course for staying connected to us by subscribing. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm still here with Victor, and we've been going through the headlines together. And our last paper for today will be Daily Independent newspaper for today, the 9th day in the month of June. And on Daily Independent here we have as headline, Tinubu signs bill raising retirement age of judges. That's a very commendable thing for the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for him to sign bill raising retirement age of judges. We hope he looks into other sectors, though, not just the judiciary.
There's a lot around that. So if you bring out about that, you find out that, see, even the youth will not be happy about that bill, because they'll be like, why are you keeping these people when we are supposed to replace them? But on the other hand, we still need their experience, especially when they are healthy and sound.
Yeah.
We still need their experience.
Of course,
70 is
we've
okay.
also seen very sound judges that had to retire because they met the retirement age, not because they are not really productive. So yeah, so that's where this is going to help.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we should not be talking whether youths are saying or the younger ones are saying, they are not giving us enough chance, or these ones on their own. The major thing, do we have enough jobs? If there are enough jobs, we'll not be talking about it, because even after 70, you can be called upon for consultancy and all that, which we know happens other clients. But
Very true.
the major problem now, we don't have jobs, so everything is just shrinking and shrinking. Everybody is hustling for that smallest slot.
Well, we hope that's going to change in time. All right, let's take on other headlines still on the Daily Independent. Here we see Enugu Governor Mba meets Tinubu, presses for Nnamdi Kanu's release. Interesting. You find that story on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper. All right, we move on to the main headline here. It says, presidential election, Tinubu APC oppose INEC staff testifying in Atiku's petition. Obi seeks order to question INEC on ICT experts used in polls. All right, that detail is on page 29 of the Daily Independent newspaper. We also see here as headline, 10th National Assembly governors across parties in support of APC zoning. You find story on page 29. Governor Abiodun is the one saying that. We also see here, Jimoh Ibrahim loses appeal to recover assets on freeze bank accounts. All right, we also see court extends order restraining EFCC orders from detaining Yari. That story is on page 7 of the Daily Independent. And lastly, I'll take this one. PDP vows to deploy strength maximally in NAS leadership election. Once APC, INEC derailing democracy. Details is on page 29 of the Daily Independent newspaper. So do well to pick up a copy to read up details of the stories. But before you get to the details, let's go over some of these headlines here. All right, and let's take on the main headline on Daily Independent that's talking about Tinubu or the APC opposing INEC staff from testifying in Atiku's petition at the tribunal. What's your take on that story?
A whole lot happening there.
The tribunal is really bringing a lot of drama and revelation. A lot is going on.
Yeah.
And this is one that is really surprising.
Yes, it's everybody wants to guide itself. Okay, the APC, the PDP, INEC, LP. Yeah. But there's one, will I call it strange thing that is happening from the umpire, which is the INEC. The way INEC, the way they are dodging questions and interrogations.
Very true.
You just begin to wonder, how can you be an umpire and you don't want to be scrutinized?
Not just an umpire that has claimed that they gave the freest and fairest election ever, that they have done their part as promised, that everything they told Nigerians they were going to deliver is what they delivered. And they didn't waste any time, of course, announcing a winner based on the fact that they were sure that the elections were free and fair. So why hoard information? Why stop people? Why not feel so free at the tribunal to give your own testimonies, knowing fully well that your hands are clean?
It's just more like INEC and APC, they've locked hands, okay, to defend themselves.
True.
Okay, but you just wonder. Just let's take a look like the Premier League. You have the referee, you have the VAR. So if the EPL or the FA wants to scrutinize you guys, you say that you will not bring out information. How dare you? How dare you? So at this end, okay, look at what is happening. The Labour Party have come out to say, okay, they want to add they want some witnesses, technical witnesses, to come from INEC to defend themselves, especially when it comes to the transmission of results during the presidential election. Mind you, to take our viewers aback, during posting of results, during uploading of results, the beavers did not work for presidential
election alone.
What then happens? You are telling us technical glitches.
So let's have people explain to us
Yes.
what sort of glitches that may have led to the beavers not working for for just the presidential election that was held on the same day with, Senate and House of Assembly elections. What happened?
And you are now, you don't want your officials from the technical department to come and testify.
So they should leave that part of, the concern out of the tribunal. Is that what they are saying? The APC and INEC.
So, but if you go by the records now, it's looking very, very true that Mahmood is more like the worst INEC chairman. Because, okay, back then, it was a signal that, what's his name, Professor, no, Professor Morris.
Morris,
Jega is more like an angel to these guys. No,
true,
Jega
true.
is an angel to these guys.
I agree. Jega had his own shortcomings, but yes.
Sure.
Looking at what has happened, what has transpired, this one is, pure daylight. We don't know. Let's not call what the tribunal hasn't called it yet. We hope that they will really be true to their responsibilities and say what it is. But before then, it is clear to everybody that some things didn't really go well.
What excuse has, so far, since the election, what has the INEC chairman done or said after declaring Tinubu the president? You go take a look at nothing. He's just there. But if it's somebody like Jega, I bet you Jega by now will be coming out to say one or two things, come out to the press, make one or two statements, trying to clarify himself. But this one, you are defending yourself, defending your people, just more like nothing happened.
Trying to push or remove himself from the equation, let it be a PDP and APC battle at the tribunal, which is not possible because from the get-go, it is clear that INEC played a very huge role in all the disorganization that was experienced during the election. We know that, yes, we had party issues like the intimidation that we saw of party members intimidating voters and all of that in certain areas. But then, how about all the irregularities found on the beavers and on the IREF? Those are some of the things that we need INEC. In fact, that's why I hope that they grant Obi's, request to have members of technical crew members of the INEC coming to explain to Nigerians, to the court, how possible that in the same day we're able to transmit results for National House of Assembly. Then the same day, just a few minutes or hours later on, the presidential election results cannot go through, so it can only be manually transmitted. Hence, the kind of results we saw in Rivers State, that is one of the big questions in this ongoing tribunal. Well, we're looking at it, and then we've also seen where people like the Rivers State governor said that let's all wait for the tribunal to make its final statement, and that we should stop preempting them from thinking that Rivers State votes were off the chart if they were not regular with the normal thing and all of that. So yes, we're waiting, hoping also that INEC is really giving both the tribunal and the political parties the needed support to prove their cases in court. Because with this, their rejection here and there, every day they are opposing to one move of the Labour Party or that of the PDP, then it's beginning to make it look like they are also hiding a whole lot. And that's a worry for Nigerians. All right, do you have more to add, or we should just call it a day?
I'm done for the day.
Right.
The weekend is here.
Yeah.
I hope we have a good weekend.
I'm really hoping so.
Out there. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Victor. And to our viewers, thank you for staying with us and watching our very interesting episode of the Newspaper Review. Hope you have learned one or two. Please drop your comments and the reactions on the comment section. We want to know what your opinion is about some of the headlines we spoke about today. Until next time, we'll come your way again. Please stay well and enjoy your weekend. See you next time.